Welcome to Radical Personal Finance. Today, I am thrilled to welcome back to the show longtime friend of Radical Personal Finance, Gabriel Custodiet. Gabriel, it's been a while since you've been on. Welcome.
Thank you, Joshua.
And
Glad to be here. Glad to talk about AI.
Absolutely. And we also have Urban, who is a business partner of Gabriel's and now a business partner of mine, who's also welcome, Urban. I'm glad you're here as well.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us.
So today we are thrilled to introduce a new course that I'm hosting called an AI Productivity Mastery, which will be a live event that I will be presenting with Gabriel and Urban. And I think with this course, we're going to be tackling some of the most up-to-date problems and up-to-date solutions, especially in the AI world. And I have a lot to say about this, but Gabriel, you're better at this than I do. So why don't you introduce the idea and introduce the overview of what we're going to accomplish in this course that we're teaching?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, we had 2 live events. They take place on Zoom. People can ask questions, and it's you and me, and in this case, Urban, basically showing you what we're doing. And the topic for this one is AI, productivity, and mastery. And what our goal is for those of you who hear about AI all the time, you're not sure maybe what's going on at all with AI. Well, we're going to give you a nice, helpful introduction to the artificial intelligence tools that are out there. And for those of you who are already familiar with AI, we're going to kind of take that to the next step and show you what we've learned about automations, increasing your mastery of particular things that you're doing with AI, and just in general, give you a very solid grounding so that you can go out into the world and start using AI tools to be better at whatever you're doing. And in fact, to open up new things that you previously were not doing, whether that's making music, whether that's, even making something like short films or something like this, whether that is automating your business flow, things of this sort. These are the things that we're going to be tackling in this course. But the overall thing is that we're going to be giving you a very solid grounding in the latest up-to-date artificial intelligence tools, explaining the different models, what they do, what you need to be aware of, some of the terminology. And we're going to be showing you the entire time on our screen what we're doing with our own computers. And this is going to take place over the course of, I'm sure we'll get into the details here, but it's going to be a nice at least 6 hours of this. And we'll also have some additional stuff for you to look at in preparation for this, but that's kind of just the overview, and we can dig into parts of that.
Yeah, for me, I think the reason this is important, one of the classes that I took that was the most impactful for me when I was in college was a class that I never expected to need or want. And it was basically a computer applications class where I went through a textbook on how to use Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Access and Microsoft Word and Microsoft PowerPoint, which I thought I knew all about. And yet when I finished that course, I felt empowered because I understood the basics and the advanced versions. I had reason recently to be looking at some of my records, and I realized that I've been a premium subscriber of a couple of the leading AI platforms for over 2 years now, which in the AI world is a very long time. And I realized there's just so much now that I take for granted with my ability to do things that a lot of other people haven't seen. And so in this course, we're going to go through from the basics to the advanced in a way that I believe is going to empower our students to not only know how to do things, but to know how to think about doing things. Because at this point in time, with modern AI capabilities, imagine if you came to a job and somebody said to you, well, I want you to make up a quick document for me. And so what you did was you went back to your desk and you started drawing out letters with a Sharpie and a pair of scissors and cutting it out to make a headline. You started gluing and pasting together a document like you did before computers. And your boss comes along and says, what are you doing? You said, well, I'm making the document for you. And the boss says, are you kidding me? You just open up Microsoft Word and make the document. You say, huh? Well, that's how it is with AI, that when I interact with employees and interact with people who are not on the cutting edge of AI, I just think like, why are you doing this the old way? You have to update this. Let me show you how. And I've gotten to the point where I take a lot of this for granted as far as common knowledge, but it's not common knowledge. So if you are interested in being on the cutting edge of productivity, then we're going to take you through from the basics, but also through the advanced applications, including some of the stuff that I'm excited about, that even while we're preparing this, I'm moving up on the cutting edge. Urban, you're helping me. We're going to set up, what are we calling it? It's not CloudBot. It's not MoltBot. What is it now? And that'll probably be different by the time we do the class. What is it called now?
Yeah, they changed 3 times. Now it's OpenClaw.
Okay.
And it's an AI agent. Yeah.
So,
OpenClaw.
Yeah. So during the preparation for this course outline, I'm actually moving up to the next newest one, which is this whole AI system level with an open Claude machine, which will be kind of part of our part 2 advanced level. So I'm learning right alongside. Talk about some of the more advanced stuff that we can do with these applications.
Yeah, so the next level, if you think about it, right now you probably are using something like ChatGPT. You go in, you type your queries, and you get the information back. But you're still doing the interfacing, right? If you want to write an email, you need to go to your mail account, copy paste this into your AI. Then you need to ask some questions, clarify, maybe write something, and then you get the answer back that you need to go and copy again. And what OpenClaw is doing is you install this directly on the computer. This is not like a separate software that is running on your browser, or it literally has access to all your files, all your emails, everything that you ever made on this computer. And you can start asking things like, hey, I have this PDF on my hard drive. Can you include it in my email and send it to, Bob? And then it will say, sure, yeah, let me do that. And, it's going to take a few minutes, and then it's going to tell you if it needs more information, like, hey, what's Bob's email? Or if it was able to do it. And this changed fundamentally everything. And just to give you an idea on how mind changing this is, we had recently a client of Gabriel and I that is using AI like you would never imagine, maybe even more than us. He does everything with AI. And then he asked to have a OpenClaw, set up for him. And in 1 hour of us configuring the machine, it already saved him time. And he was he was completely mind blown by the capability of this machine. And for us, this was also surprising, because someone that you would think would not really benefit, he was already using AI, and very well-programmed AI that he personally trained to make sure that it would follow his objective. Well, guess what? This agent can now, empower you even further and push you beyond what you imagine was possible. So this is just like the bare surface. We have more examples as we go along, but yeah, this is to give you an idea of what this is.
Yeah. And what we're talking about is having the OpenClaw, as it's called, write you an article, do the research, do the formatting, and maybe even doing some fact checking on itself with a different model, and then sending that to be posted as a blog on your website, potentially scheduling that as an email, extracting tweets from that, and more from there. It has a mind of its own. This is what years ago we thought AI was going to be. I remember 10 years ago using Siri on the iPhone, and you would say, hey, well, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to wake her up, but basically, hey, S lady, get me directions to the donut shop nearby. And it would take over your iPhone, and it would go to your Apple Maps. It knew what you were saying, and it would find the nearest donut shop. And I thought that was kind of cool back at the time, but it didn't really progress until now, when we have OpenClaw, which is, as Urban said, taking over your computer. Now, we're very aware of the privacy and security concerns. That's kind of at the heart who we are. So we will make sure to walk you through that. But this is kind of the Jarvis from Iron Man that we all kind of hoped it would eventually get to, where we have our autonomous agent that is able to take instructions, able to do things beyond just generate text and code and all the rest, and actually make an impact on our workflow.
Yeah. And what is exciting to me is that these levels, I think that if people who master these skills are going to be able to accomplish things that need to be done in the world much more quickly and effectively than ever before. I'm going to ask you guys in just a moment, what is it that you personally value in your life from AI? But I'll answer that question first. For me, what I value is the ability to get personalized guidance to do things that I want to do. I grew up right on the opening of the internet. So I grew up in an analog world, and I was very good at going and getting information from books. Then I became very, very good at going and getting information from the internet, and it's 10 times better. But now I feel like we're making another 10x jump where anything that I want to accomplish, I can now get good quality, personalized advice on how to accomplish that. And that makes me feel enormously empowered. It requires skills, however. It requires skills to know when the AI is hallucinating and giving me bad advice. It requires skills that are grounded in the old school methods of learning from books. But it means that I can basically do anything I want because I have access to the information and the personalized guidance. And what I've done is I've taken virtually all of my goals and projects and I've turned them into living, active information repositories. So I have them all lined up in various AI applications. And I just query those applications and I fill them up with all my project files. I personalize them. I put my data there. And I have a world-class coach, a world-class consultant guiding me on the things that I need to do. So it's not just doing more for the sake of doing more in terms of productivity. Oh, here's how you do more. It's doing more of what I want to do faster and better. And that is what is, to me, enormously empowering. What about for you two?
Yeah. So I'll jump on. For me, what is incredible is that you can get, and I will first talk about the traditional AI, quote unquote, the traditional AI, which is just, the chatbot. You can get like insanely precise advice that would cost you in the, hundred, if not thousand of dollars of consultant fees, of research, and you can get like at your fingertip. And yeah, you might still need, a lawyer, you might still need a doctor, you might still need an accountant, you might still need like an expert to make sure that what you found is legit. But it can save you so much time and effort to have this advice. If you need, like, if you have never done accounting in your life, for instance, and you start a new business, that will help you tremendously. If you want to know specific thing about websites, on how to host a website, or hey, how to make an online course, a live online course, which platform to use, etc. That is incredible. To me, the single most impressive thing that I ever did with AI, yet at this time of this recording, was with Gabriel. We had someone who was basically plagiarizing all our stuff. And he was just, regurgitating, ironically, was using AI to basically copy paste our content, change a few words there and there, and also potentially posting bad advice that might hurt people. And we said, okay, we asked him politely to stop, and we tried numerous things, but then we said, okay, we're gonna expose this guy. And we need a dossier on him. If we go, we contacted our lawyer. He said, yeah, you need like to everything you know about him. Okay, how do you get this? Well, we downloaded all his social media posts, everything public about him. And then we spend a lot of money on some of the smartest models to extract the data. We install some advanced database engine on our computers to basically build like a mini Palantir to see what could we find about this guy, what did he copy, how did he use, and so on. And the fact that you have access to all of this at basically your fingertip, and it took us like a weekend of research and doing all of this, what would have been something only accessible to like the most powerful companies or a nation state a few years ago, and we could just do it over a weekend and with $200 of API from AI. The other aspect with OpenCloud that changes radically everything is that all those systems, you have to think that every time you send an information, it's like new information, but it doesn't have the memory of the past, right? And you probably have seen this when you ask, do you remember when I wrote this email back then? No, it doesn't remember because it doesn't have long-term memory. It doesn't have any persistence. And with OpenCloud, because it has access to your hard drive and it can store its memory, and there is literally a folder called its soul, which is like its spirit, that will describe exactly everything it has done. So that if you come, 3 days later and you say, hey, please, can you, research more content about this guy that was plagiarizing me? It will say, oh yeah, I remember where I left off. And here is some new stuff I found. So you can literally define pipelines like you would with a normal human employee. And then every couple of days you check in and you see that it's going well. And this is, I was using the computer, I've been using computer with mouses, with keyboard, with joystick, with touch screen, with the console, the user interface. I never imagined I could speak to my computer, like Gabriel said, to Jarvis. You can literally say, hey, please, here is my USB key with all my newsletter that I've wrote for the past 10 years. Can you read through them and tell me what is the best article that has the most chance to be syndicated or something like this? And it's just mind-boggling that you can do this. So yeah, that's like some of the most impressive things that I have seen. So I'm totally with you on that this is a skill that you definitely need. There is no other way around. Like we live now with AI, and we have to basically we have to learn to survive in a very Darwinian way. But yeah.
Now, I'm probably like part of this audience who, when they hear something about a zip folder called Soul, gets pretty freaked out. And I was the slow guy to get onto AI compared to some of the other people on this call. And I don't yet have the guts to really push some of that automation in my own personal life, but that's fine, right? Because you two guys are on top of that and I'm learning more about it. And I'm going to be teaching a lot of the more targeted beginner type stuff in this. But one thing that I've really enjoyed about AI is it allows me to do things that I don't have the ability to do, or that I haven't taken the time to do, and that's art. So I produce all kinds of art for my personal use, for business use, and for inspiration. Honestly, to get around all the copyright shenanigans of just going to Google Images and copying something in a PowerPoint, and the way that I can produce images just with a few seconds and a good prompt. And sure, there's a taste aspect to this. You have to vet these in the end, but you can get some really amazing images that I find incredibly inspiring and honestly do good for business, right? They help sell products and things of this sort. That has been quite a revelation for me. And I am also, I'll give you another practical example here. So I've been making a lot of websites now. Previously, to make a website, you need to know a decent bit, you need to master your HTML. These days, I made 3 websites yesterday, and they're all HTML websites with all the security benefits that just a few lines of code can bring you. I'm making websites for people in my life, for clients, for my own business endeavors, because I'm starting to get into purchasing domains, and it needs basically just a basic HTML website to be the landing page. And I'm able to pump those out in honestly 30 to 60 seconds. Nice HTML website, give the AI some instructions. I pump those out. It has allowed me to do things that I previously did not have the time to do, did not have the time to master. And we want to be clear about this. AI will not do everything for you. There's some trial and error about what it's good at and what it's not good at. And we've put in that effort to figure out these sorts of things. And there are some things you don't want to trust it on. But for the things that it's good at, it's very good at. And it allows you to master things that you previously could not master.
Yeah, 100%. So about the course, Gabriel and Urban and I, we have developed much of the outline. The specifics we're still filling in. We're doing this as a live course. This will be a live course and a live course only. So The first class will be on February 27. February 27 will be the introductory kind of basic material. The second live class will be on March 18, and that will be the advanced material. Between now and then, I myself am setting up an OpenClaw bot. I've got the hardware on the way, and so I'm going to be experimenting with this on the advanced level, and we're going to be dealing with some of those advanced things in the second class. We will be sharing all of the real applications of what we are actually doing. I will tell you about the projects that I have done as a way of learning your way through through things, and providing you with specific instructions, specific outlines, and answering questions. So you say, why pay for a live class when I can just go and do this? After all, Joshua and Urban and Gabriel, they've just kind of figured it out. What I would say to you is the reason you should sign up for our live class is to save time. Fundamentally, that is what is happening, is we are taking ability and we're compressing time. I think you can go and you can learn everything that we're going to teach you yourself. You can go and you can spend the next year, 2 years, and you can do it. And you can do it all with AI. You can open up ChatGPT and you can say, teach me about AI, and you can work through this. The problem is, if you do that, you're going to be a year behind. If you take our live class, you will be as current as you're going to be in the top. I mean, be careful with what I say. I think I'm certainly in the top 2% of users, and I would say that Gabriel and Urban are also in the top 2% of users. So we can take you from, if you're already in the top 2%, I don't know if you want to take our class or not, but if you're in the bottom 95%, I think we can move you a lot faster. And the reason we're doing this as a live event is it's very difficult. Things are moving so fast. It's very difficult to know where we're going to be in 6 months. And so this stuff has to be current, and this stuff has to be cutting edge. But we can save you months and months of work and bring you up to speed very quickly. And you can turn that around in your home, in your companies, if you're an employee in your own companies. You can turn that around and increase your productivity. And over the course of the next 2 or 3 months, while going through this course, over the next 2 or 3 months, you can massively improve your productivity, which is what we need. So that's my sales pitch. Gabriel, Urban, anything I missed?
Not missed, but like a viewpoint that you will, like 2 viewpoints that you will get from us and not the others is the number one, like this is a joint course, right? And you, Joshua, you focus a lot on the business aspect of things and, the pure productivity, and we focus on the security and the privacy. And there is some caveat. Now, we are not going to, sorry, to be as extreme as we are for our own courses about cybersecurity, but there are a certain danger to this that you will not necessarily hear from the traditional influencer, because their goal is to get, as many views as possible, and they just want your eyeballs. So that's one. And the other part of this is, this is not sponsored by anyone. We are doing this, and you are going to hear the honest opinion of 3 people that have been working with this for the past, 2-3 years, sometimes even more, and are not trying to sell you, the latest product or some affiliate code or something like this, but what they believe is the best solution that you can use right now to help you and to empower you. And that is something that, in my opinion, is priceless. You won't have, ads in the middle telling you, oh, and now, buy this and get that. And no, everything we bought ourselves, and we tried ourselves, and we went with no pre-assumptions, and we just did the research for you, because at the end of the day, we work for you.
Absolutely. I think that's very good. Go ahead, Gabriel.
Absolutely. I'll just add a couple things that you gentlemen haven't fully touched on yet. There will be a Q&A during this event, so it's an opportunity not just to passively receive content, but to ask us questions that you have. There will be one of us active in the chat at all times answering questions as well, so that has value in and of itself. Urban has been a professional artist, so that is a perspective that you won't get from a lot of people. I mean, we're in the process of doing AI for some really crazy stuff, such as making your own video game, even making a movie, certainly creating images, and having that professional artist perspective is also incredibly valuable. Uh, Urban was being a little bit modest. He's been on AI since the very beginning. I have not met anybody quite like him. So all these blue-pilled YouTubers who are talking about AI, this and that, he blows them out of the water, in my opinion. Now, if you have been meaning to get into AI, right? You're trying to find, hey, how do I get into AI with somebody who's like-minded, who can teach me, and also show me things that maybe other people aren't showing me, not give me the rosy eyes lens of this, just show me the practicality and maybe show me some things that other people have not shown. This is the place to do it, right? We will get you grounded, we will get you going, and then we will take you to this latest cool tool, OpenClaw, so that you can be on the cutting edge of AI by the end of this course. One other thing, we will discuss things like AI censorship. Okay. There's a reason why we have been kicked out of our original ChatGPT accounts. It's because we ask interesting questions. I'm surprised that, I'm surprised when people aren't kicked out of their original ChatGPT accounts. So we understand the censorship. We understand the bias of these models. One thing you won't hear when people are talking about OpenClaw is how expensive certain models are to run your OpenClaw machine, and how certain models have a number of problems associated with them. We've been playing with the dozens of models for a long time. So we have a lot of the expert insider tips and tricks, little nuances, aware of that these are big tech companies, okay, and all of the problems that come with that. We're aware of all these things, and we're going to bring that into the discussion as well.
Yeah, I agree. And I think to emphasize what Urban said, you have the perspective of three men who are involved, but the money that you spend on this is going directly to us. I have had premium subscriptions to multiple platforms for significant time. So I'm spending hundreds of dollars a month across premium subscriptions to multiple of the chatbots. I also am building an AI company where I have hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month going out to actually use the premium APIs. And probably with my new OpenClaw machine, I'm going up much more than that. So for to spend what I think $249 is our entry fast action subscription to this fee. I'm telling you, I can save you thousands of dollars of money by being in this class, and we'll just cut through all of the nonsense and cut through all the fluff. So I'm incredibly excited about it. I think it's going to be a great approach. If you are interested in AI, if you're interested in AI for productivity, if you're interested in it for yourself, of basically how to break through the thing of I've had goals, I've had dreams, I've had ambitions for a long time, and I've just sat here. These new tools can help you to achieve things that you have never before achieved. And that's the world we're living in. We can make things. Ordinary people are now able to make things that in a way that was never possible before. Will help you break through that. And once you start to develop these capabilities, I find that I just kind of walk through life with much more confidence than I had a few years ago, basically believing in my ability to create things, because I can put the computer slaves to the work and I know how to direct them in such a way that they can help me to do the things that I want to do. So you can sign up today at AIforradicals.com, AIforradicals.com, all spelled out, AIforradicals.com. That will sign you up through the landing page. Remember, our first course is on February 27. Gentlemen, have we picked a close-off date? I don't think we have yet, right? I'll put that in the text.
Yeah, there'll be some updates. People will need to be watching their emails for instructions and such. So let's just have them keep an eye on their inbox. I think March 18th, tentatively, the date.
Okay. Very good. AIforradicals.com. Did I miss anything? Anything you gentlemen want to add?
Oh, no, sorry. You said the close-up
right,
date,
for February
the
27th,
last date to
for the first
register.
class.
Yeah.
February 27th.
Probably leading up to the first one on
Right.
February 27th.
Go ahead,
I have a few things. Number one is for all the audience that comes from Escape the Technocracy, we know we are using Zoom. If you do not like Zoom, we understand. We still think you're missing a great opportunity, but if you don't like, there will be recordings so that you can just wait for the event to finish and then you can just download and watch the recording. If you don't want to join the Zoom session, that is perfectly fine. This is why we produce recordings for people who don't want or who can't access the live event. Also, any question that you ask, we will have a Q&A, and I think we also record this, and you will also have access to this, so you can see your questions answered. And finally, there is, if you look at any YouTube video, they will always talk about how you can make more. And they never talk about how you can have higher quality things, things that actually people desire. Nobody likes AI slop, no one likes it. It's just waste your time. And it's not very respectful for the people who, are kind of like forced to read through badly written text or, just SEO optimized thing. We won't teach you none of this. This is for a high quality, how to use AI in the best way possible that you can create values and not just, more content that at the end of the day, nobody will read or nobody will enjoy. And I think this is also important that you know this because all the influencers, they will tell you how you can run this and become this Uberman of doing everything. But we all know this is not really realistic. However, we can create a lot of amazing things with high quality. And this is exactly what you will learn.
Yeah. I've been trying to be concise, but this is a real passion of mine, and this is why I think you have to go through these phases, because you have to get past the enchantment with the technology so that you can focus on the quality of the content. One example that I think is helpful. When I was a boy, it was an accomplishment to print up a report, type it up with a beautiful typewritten cover. And I remember turning in some of my written reports where I felt really cool because some people were handing in handwritten reports, but mine was beautifully typed and I knew how to use a computer and I had this wonderful cover, etc. But then that became normal. So how do you stand out when you have to submit a report and everybody puts in a typewritten report? It wasn't enough to say, well, look, it looks pretty. It's typewritten where his is handwritten. Now you had to actually use the tool to create better writing. The same thing is happening right now with AI writing. Yes, you can have AI write for you, but AI writing tends to be slop. And you don't set yourself apart by using AI for writing the report. But you also don't set yourself apart by not using AI at all. So knowing how to use the tool to do the research, to structure the ideas, and then for you to add the human sparkle to it that sets you apart, that is what's necessary. And that's true in almost every use case. So the teenager today who is writing some AI slop report is getting none of the value of AI. You have to understand how it works to use it to create the thing that actually matters and keep the human element. And I believe that going forward, this is going to be the key because none of us want to see AI junk. What we want to see is we want to see human excellence, which is going to be powered by the humans who know how to use AI for productivity most effectively. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on. I'm excited about the course. If you'd like to sign up, please go to aiforradicals.com. We would be thrilled to have you. aiforradicals.com.